So when I'm trying to figure out exactly why I ever had to go through this, the spitting stuff out my mouth, I've talked about my injustice with ANBL. An only other happening that I could point some type of finger to is a surgery I had back around the time they started giving me trouble at NB Liquor. It was right around the time. And you could know, whoa, interesting. Anyway, so right around that time, January 21, I want to say, was the surgery. Anyway, so I go in for my surgery. I was early, so I had quite the wait. I got ready but she had me get ready right away. So I just waited in that room for quite some time, just kind of listened to people chit-chatting and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, I start getting pulled in for surgery. And it's really strange. Everything about it is strange. Like, I'm kind of looking around. I'm just that kind of person, right? Like, I always observe my surroundings. And it doesn't even look like a surgery room. It looks like I don't even know. It's like a bunch of just stuff all over the place. It's really weird. It didn't even look like a surgery room. It was just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It like a bunch of beds laid in the same room. Like the metal one, the one that I got pulled in on, but there was something else. Not a lot of lighting. There was a lot about it that just didn't seem like a surgery room. Anyway, long story short, I go in there. I didn't get the oxygen. Normally, like with other surgeries, they put the oxygen on before they put me out. There was no oxygen. They put an IV in my arm and poof, I was out. I wake up from my surgery. I had hernia surgery, by the way, so to give you insight into the surgery. It was simply a hernia, belly button hernia. So it was behind my belly button, a little to the left or right or something. I don't remember as soon as. Anyway, so it's behind my belly button. I had a hernia. So I'm getting up and they're getting me up to get ready and get my arse out kind of thing. So I'm so much in pain. Like, I can't even describe to you the level of pain. I couldn't even put my bra on. It was hernia surgery. And I couldn't even put my bra on. I was in so much pain. So the nurse helps me to get ready. I get home, and things just get weirder as I get home. Anyway, I get home, and they gave me a bunch of meds. One of the meds for the pain was expensive. It was $1 a pill. And it did nothing. The level of pain I was in was really bad. Anyway, so I was a little disoriented for a couple of days. It was 2 to 3 days, I want to say, before I realized I had a bruise right here on my collarbone. My teeth were chipped here and here. All right, it was here and here. I don't know. There was a couple of spots in the front. That's what happens when part of the power that they seem to be using, it literally picking at my mind as I think so that I can't get my details. Normally it's about my personal stuff. Right here is where the importance seems to be, is the details of what I saw after my surgery. Anyway, so my teeth, and it was, I seen it, but it's like I didn't comprehend there was a problem, is one way of putting it. And it gonna whoa, and he's coming fucking in a whoa and a whoa. What was this one? Anyway, it was like I didn't comprehend a problem, and I still wasn't quite there. I had some strange dream almost. It was more almost about like a feeling, and it felt as if that's when I felt I was raped, is literally what my thoughts were. Is I felt like I was raped. And I feel like in multiple areas while I was knocked out. Anyway, long story short, it took another, I think, 2 days, so it was close to a week, before I got up to try to walk on my leg. And I specifically mentioned my leg because I never knew anything wrong with my leg. I just got up to get out. I just thought I'd take a small walk. I didn't even so much, I got as far as out my driveway and halfway past my home and crack I felt in my knee. And I'm like, whoa, like what was this? So my knee was out of place. And anyway, I with having experienced all these, I took it further. I went to the hospital to see a SANE nurse. They didn't even so much as examine me. They asked me a couple of questions and sent me on my way, but I was too honest. I spoke about what I felt my experience was. And I went to the Sussex Hospital about the knee that night, so that one was a different location. But they didn't even show me my x-rays. They gave me nothing to go on. Nothing. I got no answer from them. Making a whoa, 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 and you fucking in a whoa, and 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 a whoa. What's this one? So anyway, so as I said, I went through all the proper steps. I went to the police. They even took my stuff for evidence. Oh, I didn't mention the nurse that helped me get dressed. When one of the things in my mind is I remembered seeing a blue something when she was helping me get dressed, because I was disoriented. Like I said, I was in pain. I was disoriented. I just wasn't myself. So I remembered seeing something blue. So immediately, once I started to suspect, like before going to see anybody, once I started to suspect something was wrong, not right, I found the pant I took off that day. And sure enough, inside the pant was a blue cap. My surgery cap sheet dropped inside my pants. Inside my pants. Why did she do this, do you think? I took it as, there's a problem. I know there's a problem. I don't want to be a part of it, but there's a problem. So I explained that too, part of what made me look crazy. Anyway, long story short, going to the police, the results I got there, when they finally call me back, say they want to set a meeting, they tell me my head nurse was Karen. Huh, really, eh? Never met Karen. My head nurse, Karen. Janet walked me to the fucking room. Met Dave. Right? Completely different person than the ones that I had, but apparently she was my head nurse. Shouldn't I have met her? Should have. But I was an idiot and I gave them the full list of the fucking names. And then they come back to me with a different story. I was a fucking idiot. I had tally of everybody. If I could have stayed at a distance and forced them to do their fucking job, maybe I might have gotten justice. Maybe. And like I had said, when I said to the police officer in there, maybe it wasn't about rape. Maybe I was dropped. Maybe it was something simple. Something wasn't right. Oh, I didn't mention the bruises that were down on my lower right calf. So it was bruise up here, broken teeth, fingerprint bruises on my lower right calf, and it was the right knee that snapped. And a fucking in a whoa, somebody spoke when.